Hello and welcome to Video Revealed. I'm Colin Smith. Let's have a look at what's new in Adobe Premiere Pro 25.5. Now, typically, I don't do a what's new. I concentrate on one or two big features, but there's so many little things in 25.5 that I wanted to cover them all. Now, one thing that isn't little, and I've covered it before in the announcement, is the fact that there are 90 plus new effects and transitions included now in Premiere Pro from Film Impact. And I had an announcement, I'll put that link, and I have other tutorials that I'll put in the description. The one thing I want to mention about Film Impact is it's not a one and done thing. There's so many ways to customize the effects and transitions. So make sure you play around. All right. The first big update is improved timeline performance and playback. Adobe now claims that there are milliseconds between the time you hit play to the time you see it. So here I've got a pretty busy timeline, and as soon as I hit play, you can see it's playing back, and those are a bunch of transitions and effects from Film Impact, so you can see. Hitting play, I'll hit play here so you can see it. Boom, it's right away. All right, no more of that. Hit the space bar and then you have to wait a second. Next up is improved labels. So we've had labels over here before, and you can label each one of your sequences. I'm using the vivid labels right now just so it's easier to see. And you can now see the labels in here. So all of the timelines, it's now much easier to come in here and see which ones are on and off. If you click on the little wrench, you can turn that off if you don't want to see that, but I think I'm going to leave that on. So more improvements are organizing. Some people will have quite a few different timelines open at the same time, and being able to see label colors is very important. Okay, next up, and that's improved keyframing. So before, if I was working on, let's say I'm going to work on the rotation, I wanted to rotate at the end here. If I moved the playhead to the end of this clip, I wouldn't see it, believe it or not, I wouldn't see it. But now I can work on this and I can change the rotation or any of the effects, any keyframes. Any keyframes that I add now are going to work perfectly. So no more of that drag to the end and you can't see what you're doing, a dissolve or any of those effects. Now Adobe listened to users, and in the preferences, graphics, you can now set the default subtitle and text font, so any of the fonts that you have loaded on your system, and the default closed captioning font, again, any of the fonts that you've got loaded in your system. So you don't have to add a subtitle, then immediately go and change it. This is going to be your new default. Whatever font that you choose is going to be your new default font for subtitles or captions. Okay. Next up, there are keyboard shortcuts for solo and mute that you can set up, and they're based on track targeting. So if I've got this track targeting here and I've set mine up for Shift M, there's mute, Shift S for solo, and in your keyboard shortcuts, and if you look for solo, toggle solo for all targeted tracks, or mute, toggle for all audio tracks. You can also right click and get to it from here too if you didn't want to have a keyboard shortcut. Next up are all the improvements for waveforms, and waveforms have gone through some major updates. The biggest thing is everything is live now. In the past, and this is the same for video clips too, when you move things, you can still see them while you're moving them. In the past, you would just get a little outline as you were moving them. And this is, in my opinion, this is mostly critical for audio waveforms, especially if you're using the waveform to time something. So if you were going to move a waveform to a marker position, you would have to move it, release, see where it is, move it and release, or hit the arrow keys and move it along. Now watch this. As I'm moving this, yeah, I can now see that. And I could line line the waveform up with that marker if I wanted to. Also trimming, you can see that trimming will open this up. And what's important about the trimming is if you're exposing parts of a new waveform, you can actually see what's there. Again, in the past, you would have to ripple trim or extend something and then release it to see the waveform. Now it's all live. So much better. And of course, I've mentioned this before, everything is live now when you're changing your waveforms. And moving the waveforms is going to be live. Same for the clips too. So if you're moving the clips, you're going to see those clips moving at the same time. Now, in creating those peak files, the little waveforms, because just so you don't know, audio does not have a picture of the waveform. Those have to be created in every program on a computer. That's because the sound and the waveform are not one and the same. So Premiere Pro creates these peak files and saves them so you only have to render them once. They're now multi-threaded. What does that mean? That, well, most modern computer, well, every modern computer now has multiple threads, multiple cores. That means there's not one CPU cycle happening to draw those waveforms like it was. Now it's multi-threaded. That means the waveform generation, those peak files are going to happen much, much quicker. In the file menu, you can search Adobe stock. Really, this just launches the website so you can search there, but that is new. Adobe also added support for 16-bit PNG ping images for finishing workflows. This is probably something, well, I know I'll never deal with this, but in some high-end finishing workflows where they're taking your stuff and it's at the highest quality, some work instead of frames of video, work in full frames of images, and a lot of times that's EXR for VFX workflows, but now Premiere Pro supports 16-bit PNG. It also has improved data range for DNX HR, DNX HD, and also a completely rewritten support for MKV. MKV is really just a wrapper like H.264 and MOV. They can contain many different types of formats. So if you still don't get support for MKV, that's probably because whatever is in it isn't yet supported, but Adobe is constantly updating that. They also fixed an exporting issue where they would get a memory leak and you'd run out of memory. If the sequences included motion graphics templates, that's been fixed. And those are the big ones that Adobe is updating. And I love the fact that Adobe is constantly working on things like performance and all the little issues and niggly bits that can drive us crazy, like hitting playback. Now it's milliseconds between when you hit play to playback. Hey, if you found this informative, take a moment and subscribe. Till next time, I'm Colin Smith, and it's my job to dig into Premiere Pro and keep you up to date on what is new.